Hey everybody, I just wanted to add an addendum to the Lean and Green Queen recipes that I'm doing. Make sure that you are weighing your food and following your guides, pages 18 through, I believe it is 20, 18 and 19, showing you what your healthy fat servings and your lean and green options are. If you notice that the foods that I have cooked have fallen between the leanest and the leaner choices as far as proteins are concerned, and there are healthy fat servings that we are able to have, which is why the olive oil was so prevalent. But again, don't forget to weigh and measure your food out to be successful on the 5-in-1 program. That is what you did not see while we were filming this, so you will see it from now on. Hey everybody, it's Hope. I am an independent Optavia coach, and we are on the 5-in-1 plan, my husband and I. So today I'm going to show you how I do some of my lean and green meals, and hopefully if you are on this plan, then it will help you feel more comfortable with doing meals at your own home and maybe think of some unique ways to incorporate the meals that I do into your weekly planning. Thank you. So tonight our meal is going to be build your own pizza, but of course, because we're on plan, it's going to be with cauliflower crust. So I'm going to start tonight by making the ground turkey. As I am sure that all of you know, we use extra light or extra virgin olive oil. So I'm just gonna put some of that in the pot here. Hopefully you can see pretty well what I'm doing. And we typically get as lean a ground turkey as we possibly can. Of course, Costco, if you have a Costco membership in your town, then Costco definitely has the better price on ground turkey unless it's on sale somewhere else. So I'm just going to cook the ground turkey down, kind of using it as you would for spaghetti or the ground beef on pizzas. And I'm going to use my everything bagel seasoning, which again is also at Costco and is pretty popular because there's actually -1 gram of carb in here, so and only 5 calories with 0 fat. So this is definitely something that's awesome to use on our plan. So I'll be cooking that down, probably at a heat of about 5. Let it all cook down. It's quite a massive crowd we're cooking for tonight, but normally it wouldn't take me that long to get it cooked down and get the pizza crust ready. So I'll come back and show you how to do the pizza crust. So as the ground turkey is cooking down, as you see, it's starting to get a little bit brown on the edges. This is my husband Dennis, and Mama B is behind doing the sous chef work, so you may see her pop in and out. As it's starting to cook a little bit more, I'm gonna go ahead and incorporate the everything bagel seasoning in, just so that it gets the flavors added into it as it's cooking down, instead of putting it on the surface when it's actually cooked fully. So Dennis is gonna start stirring it in, and I'll be back. So here's a spread of what the options are going to be for the pizza tonight to go along with the ground turkey. So Mama B went ahead and cleaned everything and got it all ready so that once our ground turkey is done and we pop our pizza, crust in the oven, then we can just kind of go through and dress everybody's pizzas. So we have a large crowd that we're going to be feeding today because we're having a Optavia conference that we're watching virtually from the beach. So we were blessed to have all of our little people come down, not all, but some of our little people come down and just kind of have it as a little networking and a social gathering. So that's what me and Dennis and Mama B are cooking for tonight.
Yes. Hi guys.
Okay, so our ground turkey is finished cooking. So we are going to put these cauliflower crusts onto the pans that hopefully you can see here. We're going to pull them directly from the freezer to the put them on the pans, and we're gonna just take them out of the package, put a little bit of olive oil on top of it, and cook them in the oven at 400. If you notice, the oven is set to 400. You might not have seen that. And once we cook them at 400, we're gonna cook it for about 10 minutes and then pull them out and start with the toppings on top of it. It's very important that you keep these crusts in the freezer until you're ready to put them directly on the pan, because they will weaken and they will break. So you will not get near the pizza feel that you will if you leave them in the freezer. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll be back. Okay, so as you see, I went ahead and laid the pizza crust on a pan and just added a drizzle, a little bit more than a drizzle of olive oil on there. And as I said, I'm gonna bake it at 400, which is kind of a high temperature, but I want the crust to really harden and crust up enough for us to put the sauce and whatever toppings we want on it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm pulling out the first round of the pizzas, and I have this Rouse homemade sauce, which is the best tomato sauce to use on our program, or comes highly recommended, I should say that. You can get it if you have a Costco or Walmart. Any store that carries organic type foods usually have Rouse, and I hear from people that it can be pricey. If you get it at Costco, it's definitely a little bit more affordable. And as you see, I'm saucing the pizzas. I'm using 2 tablespoons. It's actually a half a cup that is 1 green. This cauliflower crust is also 1 green. So that is 2 of our lean and greens. You're gonna see tonight, because we are at the beach, that we're going to be using a little bit more of our greens, because we've all been in the sun and swimming, so we're gonna need a little bit more green and protein tonight. So don't hate us for adding a little bit more. And if you feel like you've worked out or you've had a day where you've been very active, make sure you add a little bit extra so that your body can absorb all those nutrients that it needs. So I'll be right back. So now I'm adding some of the ground turkey to the pizzas. What I've learned in doing this is that if you add just about a full pizza full of whatever protein you're using, that's your ounces that you need, especially if it's ground turkey or ground chicken or seafood, then that's the ounces you need for that night's meal, unless you've already used a lot of protein throughout your day. So once again, this is about the average ounces we need for our lean and green for the night, and we're going to have a little bit more greens because we did do a lot more than usual for our little vacation / conference today. So I'll come back and show you what's next. Okay, so I added the greens that we're going to have, and also just so you know, if you're a vegetarian or vegan, you can have this just as well as you can if you're not. This is for our special friend. She is a vegetarian, so she is not included in this lean and green. So I added cheeses, and I'm going to add a drizzle of olive oil on top just to kind of seal the flavors in. And then I'm going to add some everything bagel seasoning just to give it a little more oomph, or bang for your buck, as you want to call it, however. And then it's going back in the oven for probably about another 4 to 5 minutes to finish its cooking. We'll be back. Okay, we're back. So this is the final step. They baked at 400 degrees for about 4 minutes to finish kind of crisping off everything. As you see, they're done, and there's all different types of pizzas. I actually have another non-meat pizza going in shortly, and it's just kind of a process that I'm going through at this particular time, but normally it's just me and my husband and maybe one other person we're cooking for, so it doesn't go very long. I'd say within about 30 minutes you have a pretty awesome meal, you know. And for those of you who are pizza lovers, then you kind of get that craving for pizza being on the program. This is an awesome opportunity for you to have that pizza fix and still feel full, and of course get your lean and greens in. So thank you so much, and you have a great night.